welcome back to Trans Guy Reacts. My name is Nick and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. I have been a women's basketball fan for 20 plus years, so this is a labor of love. I don't really do this for views. Clearly, no one's really watching this channel. I don't really care if you watch or not. I appreciate if you watch, and if you like this type of content, please, like, share, and subscribe. I do not have my comment sections on. I have seen comment sections and it's just a bunch of trolls, and I don't have time for that, especially as an out trans person. But today we're going to talk about the Seattle Storm versus the Washington Mystics. This is the Sunday, May 19th game, and let's just jump into it. So we have Aaliyah Edwards getting her first start for the Mystics, so really great for the rookie to come in and get some significant minutes. Shakira Austin, unfortunately, is out for the Mystics because they're doing some hip maintenance. She was injured last season and she had a hip injury, so they are taking some precautions and just letting her not play tonight. Brittany Sykes is out because she rolled her ankle at the other game, so they're kind of missing two really big important players for them. So I knew this might be a little bit of an issue for them. But on the flip side, Seattle was missing Nneka because she had an ankle sprain in the last game as well. And then Nika Mule still has not gotten her visa approved. So she is unfortunately not able to play. And I don't know what's going on with that and when her visa is going to be approved. I don't know who needs to talk to who. I don't know if the commissioner needs to talk to the government or what, but this is kind of ridiculous. We have started into the season. It's been like, 4 days into the season, 5 days into the season, and there's been many games, and she's missed 3 games already, so that's absolutely ridiculous. But hopefully that will be rectified soon. On the call, you have Christy Winters Scott, Megan McPeak, and Meg McDonald, which is crazy because what are the odds of having 2 Megs on the call and their last names both starting with an M? That is super weird. But yeah, those were the people on the call for the night. To start this game, everyone was struggling to score. There was no one scored in the first 3 minutes of the game, and I was like, ooh, this doesn't look good. They were just like having issues getting the ball to fall. But then Mercedes Russell scores first, and then Aaliyah Edwards for the Mystics scores. So that was kind of great. The Rook gets some minutes there, or get some points there right in the beginning of the game. Well, 3 minutes into the first quarter. The arena doesn't appear to be a sellout, but the arena is relatively full, and it is pretty loud, actually, and the Mystics fans were very much into the game, so that's always nice to see. You want to hear the crowd, get behind the team. It's exciting. It makes the games more fun, so I was glad that it was at least relatively full. Back to Aaliyah Edwards. She did get 2 fouls with like 3 minutes left in the first quarter, which is such a rookie thing, some rookie shit. But Eric Thibault pulled her out. she had to go sit on the bench, of course. Jordan Horston, I felt was being a bit careless with the ball. She had a near turnover, and then a few minutes later had an actual turnover. Then Carly Samuelson was hitting threes, and that was forcing the Storm to take a timeout. So, yeah, just a little choppy in that first quarter. Both teams were shooting a lot better towards the end of that first quarter, and it ended up being 18-15. The Storm up. And the first quarter ended with Ariel Atkins shooting a 3 ball, and it gets wedged in the basket in the backboard. So, they call it like a wedgie, unfortunately, and it was like at the buzzer too. So it was pretty crazy. Jordan Horston again, kind of doing it was a little too wild with the ball and almost lost it twice. And she ended up going out at that point. Noelle Quinn went ahead and took her out at that point, just making too many mistakes. She's not a rookie, but she's a sophomore, so it's her second year, still kind of working things out. Seattle, given even scoring and doing some really good offensive rebounding, actually, and I did love. So Seattle was doing pretty good. And then Dee Richards, I love seeing Dee on the floor. I feel like she could be a really great player, but she just doesn't get enough time on the floor or development. But I love seeing her. I love seeing her hair. She always does these Powerpuff Mickey Mouse big hairballs. It's pretty cute. There's one point where Eric Tebow, the coach for the Mystics, gets a technical foul after the refs missed this really obvious foul on Atkins by Sammy Wickham's, on Ariel Atkins by Sammy Wickham, and he was pissed. He was hot, and ended up getting that technical foul. And his coaches had to like calm him down so he wouldn't get another foul, because if you get two technical fouls, you're out of the game. So Eric was hot. And then right after that, there was a sequence of plays, and the players were all over the floor, and the refs weren't calling anything, and it was like, what is going on? Like, take control of this game. What's going on here? Um, so that's how it was. And then Seattle started taking control in the second quarter, and they got the lead up to like 12 points at one point. But the Mystics were like fighting back. They had a couple of clutch shots, and yeah, and Julie Van Loo was making some good plays, making some bad plays. She is a 31-year-old rookie from Belgium. So, she's just trying to figure out the W, but she's a really good player. And actually, she left the floor in the second quarter, and she went right before the end of the second quarter. She was walking kind of gingerly to the back. I don't know what happened, if she came down weird or something like that. It was 39-34 at the half. Storm were up. We start the third quarter, and Mystics come out playing a little bit better. They get the lead at one point, and it's 44 to 45, so there's a 1 point lead, and then they even got it up to about 5 points. But it was like a lot of back and forth in that third quarter, but the Mystics still kind of had the edge. And then at the end of the third quarter, it was 62-64. Mystics were up by 2, and I was like, "Ugh, this is gonna be anyone's game." It was so back and forth, so evenly played. Equal amount of mistakes on both sides, equal amount of offense, equal amount of defense, I would say. Storm were able to come back and regain the lead. They got it to 63-68 with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Eric Tebow had to take a timeout. He was like, "Oh, this ain't going well." Then Aaliyah Edwards misses an easy layup, and then a few minutes later, she misses another easy layup. Making rookie mistakes, doing rookie shit. You can't be missing on layups. But overall, I did think her game was good for the evening. She just made a few mistakes, essentially, but she played relatively well. Actually, really well for being a rookie. And then, personally, I kind of feel like the calls on both sides for both teams were just really tough. These refs in the beginning of the game weren't calling anything, and then at the end of the game were calling everything. So it was very confusing, and that's really hard for players to adjust to. Is like, when are things going to be called and when are they not? And if you're not consistent, so it was kind of strange. But besides that, Seattle Storm were able to control the ball in that fourth quarter, and they were able to go on a run. They ended the game 84-75. So 9-point win. It was hard fought though, so it wasn't like an easy 9 points at all. Could have been anyone's game, really. And Mystics, you had Carly Samuelson. I'm telling you the box score here. Mystics, you had Carly Samuelson. She had 13 points. Aaliyah Edwards had 9 points and 11 rebounds. She almost had a double-double. So that's when I say, like, she played relatively well. Like, 11 rebounds is crazy. Ariel Atkins had 19 points, and Shatori Walker-Kimbrough had 12 points. So some pretty even scoring from the Mystics there. On the flip side, you have for the Storm, Ezzy Magmavor had 15 points and 14 rebounds, so she had a double-double. Jewel Lloyd had 24 points, and Skylar Diggins-Smith had 18 points. So I would say that's relatively the same. Like, the score wasn't that much different on both sides. I think that Emily Enksler had some pretty effective time on the floor. Julie Van Loo as well. They just weren't effective in terms of points, but they were doing all the other things. I mean, Julie Van Loo had 5 assists, so, doing pretty good. Elliot Edwards had 2 blocks, yeah. And then for the Storm, Ezzy McBoard had 2 blocks, and that was kind of the most significant. I mean, Jordan Horston played a little bit, 5 points. Sammy Whitcomb, 5 points. Victoria Vivians had 7 points. She was doing pretty good because she was having some issues in the last. She got 2 steals as well. She was having some issues in the last few games, kind of finding her shot. You know, she's new to the team, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But I felt like she played really well this game. So yeah, that is the breakdown of this game between the Storm and the Mystics. The Storm win, and so unfortunately for the Mystics, they lost a home game, but they played really well, so they can't be harping on themselves that much. It was a pretty good game. So yeah, that's it. That's the recap. If you enjoyed these recaps, please go ahead and like and share and subscribe. And like I said in the beginning, I don't have the comment section open. I don't care what random people on the internet think about me. If you rock with me, then rock with me. And if you don't, kick rocks.